If you want to accelerate quickly in an automatic car, it's quite simple. You press the gas pedal as far as it will go. There's a bit of a delay as the gearbox changes gear for you, and then whoosh, you're off. Here's an example. I'm cruising at around about 30 miles an hour. I'm going to floor the throttle now. There's the delay, and now we're accelerating. Whereas in this turbo petrol manual car, if I'm cruising at about 30 miles an hour in the recommended gear, and this car recommends fourth gear, as it says here, at 30 miles an hour, if I was to simply floor the gas pedal, well, not a lot is happening really. It's just starting to pick up there, but that was taking quite a while. So I'm gonna go back down to 30. This time, instead of just flooring the gas pedal, I'm gonna change down the second gear and then floor the gas pedal. So there we go, second gear, let's floor it. Oh, there we go, that's lively. Yep, I've certainly found the power. It was in second gear. But in this car, which is a petrol manual without a turbo, so it has less torque, trying to accelerate in higher gears gives you even less power. Not to mention it recommends sixth gear when I'm traveling at around 30 miles an hour. Let's see what it's like in sixth gear if I was to floor the gas pedal. Yep, not a lot is happening. Let's slow back down to 30. Let's try it in fourth gear. Flooring the throttle now. Well, that's a bit better, but not what I would call brisk. Back down to 30. Let's try second gear. Let's floor the throttle. Oh, okay, there we go. We're in business. So lower gears allow you to accelerate quickly, but higher gears have a higher top speed. Here's why. It's to do with leverage. Here I have a very small breaker bar used to loosen bolts. It has a very small lever, therefore it's not going to generate much twist, much power. I'm going to put this socket on the end of it and I'm going to try and undo one of my wheel bolts. Let's see how this goes. Here we go, just get it on there and let's go. It's just not coming. I'm not able to loosen it. But if I was to break out the big boy and put the socket on the end of it, now let's see, I may even be able to do it with one finger. There we go, that's on there. Here's one finger. Actually, I can. One finger, there we go. Loose, the power of a lever. But what's all that got to do with gears, I hear you ask? Well, quite a bit actually. This piece of cardboard represents first gear. Look at the size of that lever. This piece of cardboard represents top gear. A much smaller lever, whatever that would be in your car. It could be fifth, sixth, seventh or eighth. But there's much less leverage in top gear than there is in first gear. So when the engine tries to turn first gear, because of the big lever, there's a lot of torque or twisting power for it to turn the gear. That's why old buses and trucks before power steering used to have whopping great big steering wheels so that the driver would have extra leverage to be able to turn such a heavy vehicle. There is, however, a major disadvantage of having such a big gear. Although it multiplies the twisting force, the torque of the engine, this skateboard wheel represents the engine. Watch how many times the engine has to spin just to rotate this gear once. Spinning, 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 and that's about one rotation. Whereas top gear, the smaller gear, spinning, and there we go, one rotation. So the engine has to spin many more times to make this gear spin once. That's why low gears, they give you a lot of power, a lot of acceleration force and can get you up a hill and accelerate you quickly, but they can't get to a high speed because the engine can only spin so fast. And as they make the engine spin faster, the engine's noisier and it uses more fuel. High gears and top gear, well, they're not very good at accelerating because they don't generate much pulling power, but the engine doesn't have to spin as quickly, so they can maintain a higher speed and achieve a higher speed, although they won't accelerate as quickly. The engine doesn't need to spin as quick, so it saves fuel, and it's much quieter. Now you know that you need lower gears to go faster, I'm going to show you how to get to lower gears. So I'm at 30 miles an hour in fourth gear now, and I want to go down to second gear. This is the most basic way, but it's the worst way. So off the gas, clutch down into second and slowly come off the clutch. That was quite jerky and it slowed the car down a lot. The next method is to use the clutch to rev match. I'm now in 4th gear and I'm going to go down to 2nd gear again. So off the gas, clutch down, into second, lift the clutch slowly until I feel the car start to slow. When it starts to slow, hold the clutch steady. When the revs stop rising, I can come off the clutch fully. I've used the clutch to rev match. Much smoother, much better for the car, but the car still slowed down a lot. Okay, another method. I'm in 4th gear again at 30 miles an hour. This time I'm going to use the gas pedal to rev match. So off the gas, clutch down into second, add a little bit of power and slowly come off the clutch pedal. Because the gas was helping the clutch to rev match, I didn't really have to hold the clutch at the bite point, the car didn't slow down, and it was very smooth. So what is rev matching? Well, when you press the clutch, you disconnect the engine from the gears, and when you change gear, you change the speed of the gears. That's a problem because now the engine and the gears are spinning at different speeds, and if you reconnect them together, there's going to be a shock go through the car, and you need to reconnect them together if you want to continue to power the car. So the job of the clutch is to gradually and smoothly match the speed of the engine and the gears so that they can connect smoothly. It's called rev matching because we refer to engine speed as revs and we refer to gear speed as revs. So the clutch is matching the revs of the engine or the speed of the engine with the speed or the revs of the gears. If you don't want to use the clutch to rev match, you can rev match yourself manually by using the gas pedal to bring the engine speed up to the gear speed manually if you know what you're doing, and then when you come off the clutch, there's not much work for the clutch to do. You can come off it more quickly, the car's not going to slow down as much, and your clutch is going to last longer. With experience, you'll be able to rev match quickly to the point where you can just blip the gas pedal and drop the clutch. I'm going to demonstrate that now. I'm about 30 miles an hour in 4th gear again. I'm going to do a very quick downshift into second and then accelerate quickly. So clutch down, blip the throttle, drop the clutch, flooring it. That was very smooth. Already near 60 miles an hour there. Up into 3rd and up into 4th. And with further experience, you can practice what's known as heel and toe. That's when you rev match as you brake. So as I brake now, I'm going to change down into 3rd, rev match with the side of my foot, and then change down in the 2nd and rev match with the side of my foot again. It's called heel and toe, but you actually use the side of your foot. I have a video all about rev matching in heel and toe, and I'll leave a link to it in the top right hand corner of your screen if you're interested. Heel and toe and rev matching are by no means an essential part of driving, but they can help your car stay more stable and smoother when you're changing down gears. And it's particularly important if you want to drive in a more performance orientated manner, for example on track. If you think the video helps, please give it a thumbs up and check out Collingwood and Confused in the description. If you're learning to drive and want to insure yourself on somebody else's car, Collingwood are there for you because you can do so without affecting the owner's policy. Via the link at the moment, there's up to 35% off and a £20 Amazon gift card. If you want to insure your own car, I recommend checking out confused.com because you fill out one quote form and get loads of quotes to compare who's cheapest. And you can change the car on that quote as many times as you like to see how much it costs to insure different cars. Using the links doesn't cost you anything, but it does support the channel, so thank you very much. Subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio.